The nation watched, stunned, as a jury delivered its verdict. Guilty. A word heavy with consequence, a word that echoed through the halls of justice and reverberated across the country. For the first time in American history, a former president faced the sharp edge of the law, convicted of felony charges. The weight of this moment, the sheer improbability of it all, left the nation grappling with an unprecedented question. Could a convicted felon, once the leader of the free world, still aspire to the highest office in the land? The question itself felt like a breach of protocol, a shattering of norms that had long defined American democracy. Yet here it was, impossible to ignore, demanding an answer. The law, it seemed, had collided head-on with the nebulous realm of political ambition, leaving a nation to parse the wreckage and decipher the cryptic map of constitutional law. The stakes couldn't be higher. At the heart of this legal labyrinth lay not just the fate of one man, but the very soul of American democracy. This wasn't just about legalities, it was about the spirit of the law, the unwritten contract between the governed and their government. It was about the audacity of second chances in a nation founded on the principles of redemption and reinvention. Could a nation born from revolution reconcile its past with a present, where a convicted felon might once again stand on the precipice of power? This was a question that transcended legal debates, seeping into the homes and hearts of everyday Americans. Dinner table conversations morphed into impromptu civics lessons, fueled by a potent cocktail of disbelief, anger, and a dash of morbid curiosity. The news cycle, a relentless churn of breaking news and expert opinions, struggled to keep pace with the unfolding drama. Social media, that digital battleground of ideologies, became a breeding ground for conspiracy theories and impassioned pleas for justice. The nation, it seemed, was holding its breath, collectively waiting for the other shoe to drop. The United States Constitution, a document revered for its enduring wisdom and frustrating in its ambiguities, became the battleground for legal scholars, pundits, and armchair lawyers alike. Article 2, that section outlining the qualifications for the presidency, was subjected to intense scrutiny, its words parsed and dissected like never before. The debate raged on, fueled by partisan passions and genuine intellectual curiosity. Some pointed to the Constitution's silence on the matter of criminal convictions, arguing that it implicitly allowed for the possibility of a convicted felon ascending to the presidency. Others vehemently disagreed, citing the inherent contradiction of a convicted criminal upholding the very laws they had broken. The Constitution, they argued, was built on a foundation of trust, a trust shattered by the act of committing a felony. The courts, those arbiters of justice, found themselves thrust into the center of this maelstrom. Lawsuits piled up, each seeking to clarify the murky waters of constitutional interpretation. Legal precedents, often dusty and forgotten, were resurrected and debated with renewed fervor. The nation watched, captivated, as legal arguments ricocheted from courtrooms to cable news, the fate of a nation seemingly hanging in the balance. The Constitution, that sacred text of American democracy, had suddenly become an enigma, its words open to interpretation, its meaning contested. This perhaps was the most unsettling aspect of the entire ordeal. It was a stark reminder that even the most revered documents are not immune to the complexities of human behavior and the ever-evolving nature of societal norms. The debate took an even more intriguing turn as it delved into the fundamental right to vote. Could a convicted felon, stripped of certain rights upon conviction, still cast a vote for themselves in a presidential election? The question, seemingly straightforward, opened up a Pandora's box of legal and ethical considerations. On one hand, the right to vote, that cornerstone of a functioning democracy, seemed intrinsically linked to the very notion of citizenship. To deny an individual the right to vote, even within the confines of a prison cell, felt to many like a violation of their fundamental rights. On the other hand, the idea of a convicted felon potentially benefiting from their own vote, possibly tipping the scales of an election in their favor, left many deeply uncomfortable. It raised questions about the sanctity of the ballot box, the fairness of the electoral process, and the very definition of justice. The debate raged on, highlighting the delicate balance between individual rights and societal good. It forced a nation to confront its own contradictions, its lofty ideals of equality and justice juxtaposed against the harsh realities of a criminal justice system often criticized for its flaws. The right to vote, once a symbol of unity and democratic participation, had become a source of division and unease. This, perhaps, was the true legacy of this unprecedented situation. It had exposed the fault lines within American democracy, the cracks in the system that had long been ignored or papered over. It had forced a nation to confront uncomfortable truths about itself, to grapple with the ghosts of its past and the uncertainties of its future.